to my mom. She was the first person to teach me how to cook Vietnamese food. And this isn't a typical dish. It's kind of like my interpretation of a typical green papaya salad, because there's so many different variations and recipes that you can find, but I found this one to be a little bit more palatable and approachable for some people who are really skittish about Southeast Asian flavors. So, thank you so much for taking your time and coming out. Like Pete was saying, thank you, Pete, for inviting me and for allowing me to be part of your collaboration.
Thank you.
I'm such a big fan, and I really appreciate it. So my first memory of Pete's dad, I think I was like a toothless kid, maybe in like first grade or something. Every day, I think it was the flood you said.
Yeah.
Your dad was on? Every day he'd always be so enthusiastic about fresh vegetables and vitamins and this and that, and it just kind of like incorporated, you know, seasonal flavors for me. And sorry, I'm a little nervous. And the best part about Vietnamese cuisine is it's so approachable in its simplicity. What we really treasure is the fact that there's 5 things as far as seasoning. So there's salty, sweet, bitter, savory. So it all gets incorporated in like such simple dishes like salads, as you'll see here. And what I'll start off with is a couple of ways to actually. Now, green papaya is totally different from the papayas that you see in the markets like Safeways and stuff. Mexican papaya and Hawaiian papayas are totally different. They have a softer yellow-orange texture to it. These guys are really firm, and they have a grainy, almost whitish flesh to it. Rau, it's an indigenous herb from Vietnam and Southeast Asia. It's got a little bit of a chicory flavor to it, and I'll go actually pass it around to you guys too. It's got a little bit of a sweetness to it too, and we use it in salads.
What's it called again?
Rau. It's R-A-U-R-A-N, and it's fragrant, it's almost like a basil. It's like our version of like basil leaf. So, a couple of ways that you can actually peel the green papaya. My peeler is actually in my knife roll, but there's a simple trick. Have you guys ever seen this?
Your knife roll.
Yes.
This is like my best friend in the kitchen. Even though I went to the culinary academy and like, you know, got A's in like knife skills stuff, this is probably going to be your best friend. Because it's a mandolin and it's a bend ringer. It's awesome as far as, you know, just equal cuts. But the trick is, if you're a beginner, I use the guard. Just so you don't nick your finger. Because this is like a super sharp way. Oh, you do? Good for you. He'll help you.
That's great.
What kind do you have?
I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
It's great for slicing good meat.
Oh, that's great. So these guys, done by this, not by hand. So there's a couple ways to do it. You can either do it by hand, and I like to do it in matchstick lengths. It makes it more easy to eat and whatnot. So if you have a mandolin, it comes out in perfect little matchstick pieces. Or as culinary people like to call it, julienne. It's just fancy for matchstick. So, a great thing about green papaya is it actually is very high in phytochemicals, and it actually helps fight certain cancers. So that's a great fact for it. And I'm doing a different version of it from the cookbook because it's using red cabbage in the cookbook recipe. I wanted to use carrots because they're so readily available. You can find it throughout the season and throughout the year. What's great about carrots is, besides the beta-carotene, they have such a natural source of sugar. Whenever I do like a bolognese sauce, I throw in whole carrots to add sweetness without adding, you know, sugars in it. So that's a great way. Also, if you cook carrots as opposed to eating them raw, you actually absorb more nutrients and essential vitamins and minerals. So just a little tidbit. So what I have here is about 2 cups of green papaya. Oh, I was going to show you another rudimentary technique if you don't have a mandolin and you don't want to have to, do it by hand. Pretend this is all peeled out, and if you're really brave and you have medical insurance, this is probably the easiest way to go. So you just take your knife and make sure, please, wash yourselves. And you just do little tiny chops. And what happens is, as you shave it, you have the same effect without having to use it.
Wow.
Oh, good trick.
Yeah. Just make sure you end up with all your digits. So I usually do about a 2-to-1 ratio for the papaya with the carrots. And again, doesn't have to be perfect. So, I know the recipe called for pomelo. Pomelo is actually part of the grapefruit family, and because it's a winter fruit, we know it's Chinese New Year when the pomelo fruits are out. But unfortunately, we're at the cusp of autumn. It's not quite wintertime yet, so my closest option was the ruby red, which is also great. It's very high in antioxidants, vitamin C's, and a lot of people, you've all heard of antioxidants and superfruits and stuff. It's actually a marketing ploy because your simple orange or an apple or banana has such high nutrient content, a lot of people forget about it. And so if you're buying into the acai berries or the superfruits, don't forget about these guys because they have a lot of great nutrients in it too. So what I'm going to do is cut these guys in little wedges. They're called supremes. It's just a fancy name for skinless wedges. Another culinary tidbit. Didn't have to go to school for that one. And these guys are really thick. I usually like to take just a single pass at it. So this is about 1 Thai chili, small dice. And this is 1 to 2 cloves of fresh garlic. And I know Bruce said, in order to keep the odor or the strong flavor of garlic to not permeate, I love it. And we actually use a mortar and pestle when we do our dipping sauce. And this is the final ingredient, the final product of it. So I'm just going to pour about 2 tablespoons. You can actually, everybody see that? Just put it around the plate. And then as a final touch, I just like to add a little bit more scallion shallots on top. And there you have it, green papaya pomelo salad. Any questions? Yes.